Unseen forces. What is the dark state? The dark state is a shadowy concept. It whispers of hidden forces. These forces operate outside the law. They manipulate governments. Imagine a web of power. But first, before we continue, remember to hit like, subscribe and share and smash that bell to be reminded of more great videos like this one. It exists behind the curtain. This web influences decisions. It shapes events to its will. Some believe this is just a conspiracy theory. Others argue it is all too real. They point to unexplained events. They see conspiracies hidden in plain sight. The question remains, is the dark state a myth or reality? Let's investigate. Whispers from the past, historical echoes of the dark state. History offers glimpses of potential dark state activity. Ancient Rome had its secret plots. The Renaissance saw powerful families scheming. One example is the Reign of Terror during the French Revolution. Robespierre's Committee of Public Safety acted with impunity. They silenced opposition through fear and violence. In the 20th century, totalitarian regimes flourished. Nazi Germany and Stalinist Russia used secret police to control their populations. These regimes suppressed dissent. They eliminated anyone deemed a threat. These historical examples show how power can be abused. They fuel the belief that hidden forces operate in the shadows. Shadows in the present. Modern manifestations of the dark state. Today, suspicions of a dark state persist. Some point to events like the JFK assassination or the fact that the dark state did everything it could to stop Donald Trump. The dark state tried to destroy Donald Trump's reputation. They tried to destroy his marriage. They tried to convince America and the world that Trump was a Nazi. They even tried to kill him, yet he prevailed. Trump has endured and triumphed over every obstacle placed in his path. Is Donald Trump the last of the saviors of democracy? Remember, your mind is like a parachute. It only works if it is open. They question the official narrative. They believe powerful forces were involved. The rise of surveillance technology raises concerns. Governments and corporations collect vast amounts of data. This data could be used to manipulate and control citizens. Whistleblowers like Edward Snowden revealed mass surveillance programs. These programs operate in secret. They raise questions about government transparency and accountability. The growth of the military-industrial complex is another concern. The influence of arms manufacturers on government policy is undeniable. Critics argue this creates a vested interest in war and conflict. The case for evidence and arguments supporting the dark state. Those who believe in the dark state cite several pieces of evidence. They point to unexplained events and inconsistencies in official narratives. They see a pattern of cover-ups and disinformation. The existence of secret societies and powerful lobbies adds to their suspicions. They argue these groups wield undue influence over governments. They work in secret to advance their agendas. The increasing concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few is also concerning. This concentration of power creates an elite class. This elite class operates above the law and beyond public scrutiny. Proponents of the dark state theory believe that democracy is under threat. They argue that citizens are being manipulated and controlled by unseen forces. Section 5. The case against debunking the myth of the dark state. Skeptics of the dark state theory dismiss it as a conspiracy theory. They argue that there is no evidence to support the existence of such a shadowy organization. They believe that governments, while flawed, are ultimately accountable to the people. They argue that unexplained events and inconsistencies are not proof of a conspiracy. They are simply the result of human error, incompetence, or the fog of war. Skeptics also point out that whistleblowers and journalists are free to expose wrongdoing. They argue that the free press acts as a watchdog against government overreach. They believe that the dark state theory is dangerous. They argue that it undermines trust in democratic institutions. It also promotes fear and paranoia. Section 6. Striking a balance, navigating the murky waters of conspiracy. The debate over the dark state is complex. It's important to approach the issue with a critical mind. We must be wary of both blind acceptance and outright dismissal. It's crucial to rely on credible sources of information. We should be skeptical of sensationalized stories and conspiracy theories. It is also important to acknowledge that power can be abused. Governments and corporations do not always act in the best interests of the people. We must remain vigilant and hold those in power accountable. The truth, as always, likely lies somewhere between the extremes. While a monolithic dark state may be unlikely, it is naive to deny the existence of powerful interests operating in the shadows. Section 7, the price of power, the dark state and the erosion of trust. The concept of the dark state thrives on mistrust. Whether real or imagined, the fear it generates has real consequences. This fear can erode public faith in institutions. It can fuel cynicism and apathy. When people believe their government is compromised, it undermines democracy. Citizens may become disillusioned and disengaged from the political process. This erosion of trust creates a dangerous vacuum. It can be exploited by demagogues and extremists. They offer simple solutions to complex problems. They prey on people's fears and anxieties. The dark state, whether a myth or a reality, serves as a potent reminder. It reminds us of the importance of transparency, accountability, and active citizenship in safeguarding democracy. Section 8, Safeguarding Democracy, Combating the Threat of the Dark State. If we are to combat the threat of the dark state, real or imagined, we must strengthen democratic institutions. We need to promote transparency and accountability at all levels of government. A free and independent press is crucial. Journalists play a vital role in holding power to account. They investigate wrongdoing and expose corruption. Citizens must be engaged and informed. We need to be critical consumers of information. We must hold our elected officials accountable. Education is key to combating misinformation and conspiracy theories. By promoting critical thinking skills, we can empower citizens to discern fact from fiction. Section 9, Conclusion, the dark state, an enduring enigma. The dark state remains an enigma. Is it a shadowy cabal controlling world events, or a figment of our collective imagination? The answer is likely more nuanced than either extreme. While a monolithic dark state may be unlikely, the concentration of power and influence in the hands of a few is undeniable. This concentration of power poses a real threat to democracy. Regardless of whether one believes in the dark state or not, its existence as a concept should serve as a stark warning. It reminds us of the fragility of democracy and the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of power. The best defense against the dark state, whether real or imagined, is an informed and engaged citizenry, a free and independent press, and a commitment to transparency and accountability at all levels of government. Only then can we hope to safeguard our democracies from the shadows. Remember, your mind is like a parachute. It only works if it's open. Hit like, subscribe, share, and smash that bell for more great videos like this one. Please leave your comments below. Let's open a dialogue and get our brains working.